Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't here tells it like a TIN. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Topic I'm going to talk to you today about is Summer House Martha's Vineyard reunion, part one for season 2. Now they didn't have a reunion for season 1, but I did want to binge watch a few episodes so I can see exactly what they were talking about, so I can know what they were talking about. I stopped at episode 5, and then I switched to the reunion last night. I had been watching ever since Monday, and I got to season 5, and I agree with the rest of the audience. I should have been reviewing this instead of trying to review and catch up on Potomac, because Potomac was so toxic that I had to stop watching, I think, at episode 5 or 6. But anyway, back to Summer House. I agree with the fans. Summer House season 2 started off real good. I mean, from episode 1 all the way to 5, it had lots of drama and excitement and stuff that was going on in the house. So I don't understand how Bravo said that the show was getting low ratings and it wasn't doing good. And like I said on Twitter after the reunion, and I'll put that in the Housewives TV video, where the Summer House is on pause, Martha's Vineyard, and I was saying when it was behind Portia Family Matters last year, and also Rojas season 13. I mean season, well, yeah, no, season, I think it was season 13 or 14. They were making good ratings, and I was saying it was decent ratings, and I was saying what's going on, and stuff like that. And so I really didn't understand, because I do agree with a lot of Twitter fans and YouTube fans and stuff that season 2 was much better than season 1. I liked the season 1 too, but 2 was better because it seemed like everybody was activating, everybody participated in some shape or form. And so I didn't understand why why people were saying it got low ratings and this, that, and the other. And so the reunion started off with Andy introducing the cast at the Bravo Clubhouse. Now some fans had a problem with that, but then I looked at when they did the first reunion for Blood, Sweat, and Heels. It was also at the clubhouse, and then somebody reminded certain fans they did have certain reunions at the clubhouse, and it was a nice atmosphere, but it was the clubhouse. And so after he introduced everybody, he said, "Let's get right to the point." So he got right to the point, and he was saying that Summer, did you know that Amir and he said Noelle, did you know that Amir and Summer were having some kind of a relationship or some kind of thing like that? She said no. She said that's why I told Summer that I was kind of interested in not Amir, kind of interested in Alex, and I liked it, Alex. And he said, "Well, Alex, how did you feel about it?" He said, "Well, I felt like me and Summer were not really serious like that, serious like that. We were kind of like what they call now a situationship." And he said, "I just thought it was just that." And then Andy said, "Well, how did the relationship end? Did you end it mutually, or what happened?" And he said, "Well, I just told her it was over." And she said, "No, I kind of, like you said, I kind of ghosted him, and I kind of told him that we wasn't right for each other, and stuff like that." And so he said, "Noelle, when did you find out about Alex and what you called?" She said, "I found out just like everybody else at the dinner table when she said." He said, "Oh yeah." When she said that you were inside of me, she said, "Yes." Someone said, No, I told you before that." Noelle said, "No, I'm not gonna let you sit up here and lie and say that you told me before." She said, "I didn't find out till the dinner, just like everybody else. You're not gonna say that you told me before and you didn't." And then someone didn't say too much at night. And then Andy said, "Well, how's the relationship between you and Alex now?" She said, well, even though Alex hurt my feelings, I think me and Alex kind of friendly now, because we still have that relationship and chemistry. It's not what I wanted it to be, but we were still friends. He said, Noelle, how's your relationship with Summer? She said, me and Summer, the relationship is not like it used to be. He said, what do you mean? She said, we're all right, we're just cordial. Summer jumped up and said, oh yeah, we're just cordial. And then Andy said, Amar, what went on? He said, Omar, what do you think about what Natalie said about she makes more money than you? And he said, well, I know I'm dating a powerful woman, and we've been dating for a year and a half. I know I'm dating a powerful, successful woman, and that doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me at all. And then Andy said, well, that's kind of demeaning. And you say you have no feelings about it. It's not demeaning to me. Like I said, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. And I said, well, I was saying, you getting kind of snappified with Andy. He just asked you a question. And I think Andy took it that way, because it was like after that question, Andy started really kind of shading them more at every turn. And then he said, yeah, we're planning on buying a house together, since we're gonna be moving in together. He said, buying a house together. He said, Andy said, whose name gonna be on the title of the house? He said, well, I took a loan out for the house, but Natalie's name is gonna be on the title along with mine. He said, Natalie's name gonna be on the title? He said, yeah, but mine gonna be on. He said, you took out a loan? He said, yeah, I am, because that's the girl I'm gonna be buying a ring for. And Andy said, huh? Buying a ring? He said, y'all just met a while ago, and you talking about buying a ring and buying a house? And he said, Amor, when did Natalie propose to you to get a ring? He said, she didn't propose to me. She didn't get a ring. I was going to buy a ring anyway later on. And then Andy said, oh. And then everybody bust out laughing. And then Bill said, ooh, that's kind of shady. And then Alex said, yeah, it is. And then Butcher Carl said, Jordan said, oh, we didn't know that. And then so after that, Andy said, well, let's move on. He said, Amor, what did you mean when you said that Summer was kind of touchy-feely too? She couldn't talk about Nick. And he said, well, from what I saw in the house, and what I saw when they were talking in the house, and what I saw and observed, I felt that she was touchy-feely, and she had no reason to talk about Nick like that. And he said, Summer, do you think you're touchy-feely? Summer said, no, I'm not touchy-feely. Well, it is. Alex knows that sometimes I like to lean on people, and I didn't know that was going to be offending people, because when I talk to people, sometimes I just lean on people. So I think that's what he meant by me being touchy-feely. And Andy said, is that what you meant? He said, kind of, sort of, but she do try to collar. And then they showed pictures of where she did touch somebody, and then they also showed a picture of her leaning on somebody. So she said, but that's all right. But that's all right with me. I don't have nothing to say about that. And then so Andy said, Summer, you were crying, and you were saying you were having a hard time, and you were having a hard time, and you wanted the group to understand all that you were going through and stuff. He said, how are you doing now, Summer? Summer said, well, I'm doing much better now and stuff, but I'm trying to deal with what I'm going through, and I am in therapy. I'm going to therapy. He said, oh, okay. And he said, did you ever find your father? Because you said you were looking for your father on the show. She said, yeah, I found my father. And he said, who is he? How is he? She said, yeah, he was that person on Facebook that I found and stuff. And he said, well, how did you know that it was him? She said, we did what you call it, one of those those DNA tests with something I forgot the name of, something in me, DNA something to me or something like that. And I know it's popular and I heard of it, but I can't remember the name, but it's something like that. He said, do you have any contact with him, Summer? She said, no, I don't have no contact with him, and he don't contact me. You said, how you feel about that? She said, I don't feel no way about it because he left me. How can you leave a mother and a child? He left me. And she said, I got a wonderful family. She said, I got a stepdad. I got a grandmother. I got a granddad. So I have a family. He said, okay. But before that, she was kind of crying before Andy got in. Andy said, okay, I'm gonna move on. He said, Bria, why are you upset? Why are you upset with Simon when Simon came? Because you said you hadn't seen Simon in a while. But first he asked her about where was the dog. She said, well, the dog is with Simon, and Milo was with Simon. And then he said, well, why are you upset? She said, well, as me being a black woman, I always have to educate Simon on the black community and its culture. And she was saying when Nick was talking about the HBCUs, and he had his frat boys there, and we had a party for his frat boys and HBCUs. It was like Simon was acting out. He wasn't doing himself. He was being drunk and semi, like, I guess, I don't know, making fun of or whatever. And she said she didn't like that. He said, oh, okay. And so did you and Simon make up at that? She said, yeah, we kind of, me and Simon in our relationship, we kind of go back and forth. And he was saying, well, Bria, you said on the show that you love Simon and stuff, but Simon's not your soulmate. It's another person is your soulmate in Germany. He said, why are you with Simon if Simon's not your soulmate? She said, Simon's not my soulmate. She said, but the other person in Germany knew exactly what I meant. There was no shade to Simon, but I do love Simon, but he's not my soulmate. And then Andy said, well, do you know that some of the people in the group think Simon is using you for clout? She said, well, if Simon's not using me for clout, Simon, he said, why you say Simon not using you for clout? She said, what he is, I think Simon is like my job and like that I'm on TV and stuff like that. And he likes the attention of it all and stuff. And then Andy said, that he is using you for clout. And then Bria didn't say too much. And she said, well, why would he have to do that? He's a multi-billionaire, and obviously, child, them the main ones that want to get on TV. But anyway, Andy went to Andy went to the next thing, and he said Noelle, you said that you were hurt. He said you were hurt by what Alex did and what Alex said. And she said, yeah, I was hurt at first. She said I got over it. And then he said, the best part that I like about Summer House was y'all had the decade party. She said, oh yeah, decade party. We already had a good time at the decade party and stuff like that. And I didn't think stuff was gonna break out and stuff like it did. But she said, yeah. He says, yeah, I didn't know. And then he said, yeah. He said, yeah. Why come you said that someone that what you call was the worst dresser, Shanice? And she said, well, I didn't mean it like that. He said, but you did say she was. And she said, he said, you low key said that. And he said, Sharice, you felt hurt by that. She said, yeah, I felt hurt by that because I thought someone was my friend. And I was saying, if someone was gonna be my friend, why would she do me like that and stuff? All the stuff that I've been going through and stuff. And Andy said, well, you did go through a whole lot of stuff, Shanice. She said, yeah. And that's why I was so shocked and surprised that stuff. And Bria chimed in and said, yeah, that's why I came to console Shanice, because I was wondering why someone was saying that too. And someone said, well, everybody was thinking what I was saying. I just said out loud that she is the worst dresser. And then Shanice said, Andy, after she said I was the worst dresser, then she gonna try to come and borrow something from me. And I said, if I'm the worst dresser, why should I learn you something? And then she called it a B word. And then after that, she said, well, I know how to coordinate. I know how to color coordinate. You don't, and stuff like that. And so Andy said, Shanice, you said that you were going through a whole lot. She said, yeah. I was going through a whole lot, and people talking about I don't know how to dress. How I don't know how to dress, and I don't have a job, and I don't have no money to buy no clothes. And then so Annie said, well, Shanice, a fan said that since you know all these basketball players and all these rich high men, why come they can't buy you no clothes and stuff like that? She said, well, I just sleep with them, and it's just that. And I was saying, girl, you the dumbest thing you ever want to see, because that's what everybody was saying. If you gonna brag about all the people you are, and they're not gonna buy you no purse or give you no money, you just being foolish. And then so, she said, that's just the way it is, just the way it is. And then Andy said, okay, let's move on. He said, Jordan, you said that you was going through a lot of stuff, and that's why you and Jasmine relationship was kind of on the outs and kind of broken. And why was that? And then Jasmine chimed in and said, yeah, I want to know that too. I want to know the answer too. And why was that? And she said, well, it seemed like that Jasmine was acting differently than what she was before, because when I first got her, me and her were going out together, we were DJing, we was doing this, and then Jasmine said, that's the only reason why you was cold to me and not talking to me. She said, once you elevate yourself, and you elevate, you don't do the same things that you used to do. And I said, y'all say Jasmine right on that. And she was saying, you know, I got married. I was trying to, I got married. I was trying to work on my relationship, work on my marriage, stuff like that. But I still wanted to be friends with you, Jordan. But you kind of pulled back. And she was saying, well, I realized that you were not being the same person that you were. She said, what you mean? She said, you were being somebody different. I think Jordan just didn't want to have nothing to do with Jasmine because she got married to Silas. Some people like that, and that's why they say sometimes single people can't be around married people can't be around single people. But sometimes it works, and sometimes it don't. But anyway, back to the show, and then somebody said, I think Andy said, well, Jasmine seemed like none of the group was really for you or really wanted to be around you and stuff. She said, yeah, I wonder why it was too. And she said, because it was like after the show, you know, some people got together on trips and stuff and invited certain people and didn't invite me, and nobody called me. And she said, I was the one that kind of called Jordan when she was having that stuff, and then I was the one but nobody reciprocated their stuff. That's why I want to know. And you could tell none of them really had no thing. And then Andy tried to be nice by saying, well, maybe they're mad because you are considered the leader of the group, the mother of the group and stuff. She said, well, Andy, that is kind of right, because all these people around here got on the show because of me. And then so after that part, that's when I think that's when everybody said, well, you know, you guys should, and she said, nah, there's no reason, nobody had no reason. And he said, okay, let's move on. He said, Nick, what do you think about what Nelly said that if Amir had been holding those girls real close, like she saw you on that film, she wouldn't have tolerated that. She wouldn't have went for that. He said, I didn't like it, Andy, because she was just a guest and she was new to the house and she was in everybody's business, and I didn't like that. And Amir wasn't saying anything. And then after that, Noelle chimed in and said, yeah, she was brand new, and she was in everybody's business, and she was in the conversation that we was talking. We was having the conversation talking about the situation with Nick and stuff, and then she gonna jump in and she gonna jump in and do it. And Amar was talking about, well, she came there to be a guest. She didn't come there to be in a mess and drama. And then all of them said, well, she did. She was in the mess and drama when she decided to insert herself. He kept on trying to take up for her. And then Andy said, what do you think about it? He said, well, He said, well, Andy, I'm going to use Shanice. He said, Shanice, when you first came to the house and you showed your breast and stuff and raised your shirt up, he said, I turned my head the first time. He said, the second time you did other stuff, I turned my head. He said, I didn't come nowhere towards you out of the way or inappropriately. He said, because I don't know where this narrative come from. And they were saying, and then Jordan and some were saying, well, you know, sometimes when you get drunk, you do get a little antsy. He said, we all get drunk and do stuff. He said, but I didn't know offended people. He said, but and then Andy said, well, you don't like it? He said, no, I don't like the way it's narrated. And what he is, that's all I got to say about it. And then next thing you know, Andy asked, he said, well, since what you call was brought up, he said, Preston, I know how you felt about Philip. He said, you and Philip had a FaceTime. You said that you accepted his apology. But then in your truth booth, you said you didn't accept the apology because it wasn't genuine. He said, I don't think it was genuine. He said, what do you expect me to do at that time? The man did say he apologized, so what was I supposed to do in that moment? I just want to accept it. He said, nah, Preston, that's not the way you do it. If you don't accept the apology, just tell me you don't accept the apology. And then so Bria told me it was the same way with Mariah. Mariah did that stuff to me, and then the more time, I didn't want Mariah because Mariah did, but they showed a flashback, and Mariah was just telling him that he shouldn't be wanting to take a shower or bath with a towel that Bria had for her dogs and stuff. And then after that, Andy said, good job. I did a good job at the reunion. He said, hope to see y'all around again. And that's funny because at the end you could tell that Andy really didn't say, I hope to see you next thing. He just said, I hope to see you again. And that was all the reunion. That's all I have for this reunion. This was a good reunion. This is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a T.I. is. I am out.